out and split another one over here this side. I had a good set of teeth at that time too, and that messed them right up. That started the... But I was down, I was crying just about.
Crying, Jack?
Just about. I was 17. You're allowed to cry when you're 17. Like, yeah, you know, when you're amongst them and you're allowed to cry. Well, the tears come to my eyes, let's say that.
Whether tears did rush to Jack Dyer's eyes, no dinkum footy fan would believe it, nor want to believe it. Dyer was to the Australian game what Ned Kelly was to bushranging. His wildness is football's most enduring legend. And as he nears his 80th birthday, he remains Melbourne's most revered icon. One of Jack Dyer's sayings, and his mangled maxims are famous in football, is that he didn't mean to become a legend. It just happened that way.
How many collarbones did you break?
No, well, they were all weak ones. They must have been.
And in the Gospel according to Jack, he didn't actually mean to hit any of them. Now, the next pronouncement will rock the foundations of football's folklore. But Jack says his damaged knees, which he held together with bandages and pennies, rendered him unable to avoid his many victims.
I could only run straight. I couldn't turn either way. So that's why I collided so much with people. They didn't know that. I collided with 3 of my own players. I put 2 of them in the hospital too, you know, because I couldn't pull up. But I used to have to warn them, now don't keep in front of me. I can't pull up at top pace and I can't turn off you. So be careful.
So the whole reason for the most fearful legend in Australian football
has been that I had to run straight, yeah.
It wasn't that you were a violent man?
I was a very nice fellow. I was very, very happy and very nice and a very good home kid and went to church on Sundays.
Dyer reckons the reason why he ran at blokes was because he had a bad knee and couldn't deviate.
Well, that was, I won't say it, it is.
It's what? It's what?
Bull dust.
Is it?
Yeah.
He could have deviated, you think?
Yeah. He didn't like deviating. That wasn't his caper. If you was in his way, well, bad luck, you got hit.
Dodger Ryan is a fossil excavated from the same prehistoric age as Jack Dyer. Warriors who'd rather a fight than a feed.
If you couldn't fight, well, it's no good playing league football.
This week in Melbourne, football's archaeologists dug up the last of the game's dinosaurs. The Dodger, Dyer himself, the primate Lou Richards, and Jack Basher Williams, for the launch of Dyer's book titled The Wild Men of Football, or Apes from Jurassic Park. A chance for this near-extinct species of lawless old ratbags to skite and to break a few more collarbones.
Dyer and Richards, they're 2 stalwarts, aren't they? They're millionaires, though, but just the same. I wish they'd give me some of their money they've got.
Not since Glenrowan Pub have so many bushrangers been cornered in one place. The wild men of old times and latter day, here to salute the wildest of all.
It was 62 years that I first had my first game of league football on that little turf out there.
The larrikins were all there. Mad Malcolm, Lethal Lee, the Kid, Old Hungry, and Teddy, of course, Gabbo of Gabbo's Run, and Crackers, he who drinks lolly water. A sort of who's who of lunatics to warm an old madman's heart.
What I miss too in football is after the match, the team should go into one another's rooms, have a drink, no arguments, and just say, next time I meet you, I'll kick your bloody head off. Now, that is what I call football.
The wild men are going out of football now at the moment. There's nobody around now.
There's no Captain Blood.
There's nobody knocks anybody over now or runs through them and shoulder. And Brereton's the only one that does it.
All right, my hearties, follow me!
Upon seeing the hit movie of the 30s, A Sporting Globe writer, Hector Lacey, christened Dyer Captain Blood. Jack thought it was because of his physical likeness to Errol Flynn, and was miffed to learn that the moniker had more to do with being a bloodthirsty pirate.
I complained to our secretary. I said, I don't like that name. He said, oh, don't give it away. He said, I'll put your name on jam tins. He said, I'll put that on jam tins for you.
Is your name...
He was before his time, that fella.
Is your name been on jam tins, Jack?
Yeah, he rose out in the round several years. They made a little few of them, you know, and sent them down the club.
So now in his 80th year, Jack Dyer is a sensitive old age guy, an honourable man. But when you ask why he was so violent, the response is vintage Dyer.
Your brain snaps. There's a lot of blokes that brain snaps, you know. Hasn't yours ever snapped?
Not like yours has, Jack. Your brain snapped a few times, didn't it?
Yeah, oh yes, a good lot of times, as a matter of fact. You know, when you lose your equilibrium, they call it, isn't it?
Your what?
Your equilibrium, isn't it? Is that what they call you?
Your equilibrium.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah. When you lose that, you know, and you're getting a bit of trouble, you say, I'm going to get out this way.
Coming in fast at 40 knots with a look of savage fire. Captain Blood, the infamous Jack Dyer. Jack Dyer.
Richmond's survival rallies have been the rare crusades important enough to draw Jack Dyer back into the spotlight. But he has received Queen's honours, though his favourite royal remains the Marquis of Queensberry. And he loves Richmond, even in its decline.
Can you watch Richmond when they're down the bottom?
No, I can't. I cannot. I get worried. I just can't do it. That's all there is to it. There's no more. It spoils my night. Like, you know, it spoils the day. It takes a day out of your life.
If they get beaten?
I don't even read the paper. That's how bad I am.
4 and 25 and Cornish passes the rich golden pastry. Hoy! Hoy! Don't forget 'em, 4 and 20. Hoy! Hoy! How a lovely pie!
Whether he was doing pie ads or as coach here at Richmond, where he once told his players to pair off into threes, Jack Dyer rewrote the language. And as a radio commentator, he was unique, once describing the octopus-like arms of Carlton ruckman Justin Madden as like two giant testicles. And though he gave up the radio 4 years ago, Jack's rambling commentaries are part of football folklore. And this year they've been immortalised in a television commercial for the company Sports Co. And the offcuts of that ad, the parts that don't even go to air, are a show in themselves.
Yes, most of my stories are about violence, you know, and...
And action.
Well, I had a milk shop once, and I was serving behind the counter. I said, if you don't mind, umpire, please, and it became a saying right throughout the football world. If you don't mind, umpire, please. And it was one of those things, and it appeared a minute ago. One day I got stuttering with that one, and I went backwards, forwards, and upways, and crossways, and I finished up getting a bit of it out, and I finished and the fellow on the way with me, he said, I'll wait for you, Jack, keep going.
Cut.
Not bad for an old-timer whose media stardom began on cigarette cards. But there is one aspect of contemporary football that he can't come to grips with. Indeed, the mere mention of trial by video is fighting words to Captain Blood.
With video, some players have got to lose their temper, like it's a contact game. Let's get on with it, but it's not a contact game. Well, just don't let them bump one another. That's all there is to it. But at the present time, it's going to be a contact game. You're going to have video catching you all the time because you're not going to be a perfect bump all the time. It's got to be one that's a little bit screwy now and again.
You don't like the trial by video then?
I reckon it's a bit of Russia they brought over here and it stopped here. Yeah, the whispering death, they call it now.
And there's just one opponent who hasn't shuddered at the sight of Captain Blood. One foe who even Jack Dyer couldn't stop and can't slow down. The passage of time.
The terrible thing, time, isn't it? Time. Yeah, you can't stop it. No, you can't rewind the watch, he said. That way.
Jack Dyer, yes, you never see their like again.
So it is the man and the year.
McDonald's presents The Man